How do you start from scratch as a trader? Now, I've done this myself. I've coached many people at the beginnings of their career, and these are some of the top tips that I could give somebody who wants to start out as a trader. First up, there's tons of information out there. There's loads and loads of different things that you can learn. Don't try and learn everything. Build steadily. So what you want to do is start with one thing, your technical analysis, whatever it is that you start with, and build onto that. If you try and learn everything, what happens is you try and force all of this new gained information that you will have at least initially learned on a peripheral level into your trading, which becomes very overwhelming, and it's very hard to define what exactly does work and what doesn't, what is helpful and what isn't. So start with one thing, start with one approach, and then as you feel that this doesn't quite give you enough information, add to that. And then branch out in that way. Find the things that you need and bring them in, rather than find everything and try and find a way through it all. Second, if you are looking at tools, 3 things that you need and why. You need to understand technical analysis. What technical analysis does is it gives you a map of where the market can go. It points you in certain directions by understanding certain chart sets. But you need context behind this, and this is what a profile does for you. Profile will give you an understanding of whether a market has the scope to move right now. And thirdly, you need order flow. Get a price ladder. Because by having this, you get to see the action coming through. You get to see whether, when you think something's going to happen, people are actually participating in it. And if you've got a price ladder, don't watch it all day. Sit there and watch it at certain points that you've already defined from your technical and profile analysis. So you say, right, we've got down to this level, what happens now? And that's where you're looking at the ladder. What's the action when a level breaks? What's the action when a level bounces? What does that look like? That's what you're trying to determine. The next thing is debrief. Take your time at the end of the day to debrief in a clear, deliberate manner. And what I mean by this is go and look at the trades you took in comparison to your morning plan. And then also ask yourself, what are the types of trades that I take? Which setups do I find I'm more comfortable with? Do I take better? Which trades do I actually lose on? This way you refine your skill set. And you find out your own style. Not every trade is the same. There's no golden rule to this. There's no golden setup. There's no golden strategy or style to go down. Find your own style. And to that point, when it comes to market, what market should you be trading? Don't get sucked into a lot of the hype that people talk about FX, or you get a lot of talk nowadays about trading ES and that being the holy grail of markets to trade. Trade something you have an affinity to, something that makes sense to you. A market that I found myself gravitating towards early in my career was oil, because there was something about oil that made sense to me. Maybe it was the tangibility of oil. I could see the reasons that people use it and why supply and demand for oil shifts. That made sense to me. So trade a market that you have an affinity with. You're going to be much more engaged and much more interested in learning about it, rather than approaching a market because that's what everybody else talks about. Further to that point, if everybody else is gravitating towards one market, this makes it much more competitive. It makes it much harder to get your trades on because everybody else is looking to do the same thing. And one final last tip. Don't rush to go live. The last thing you want to be doing is rushing to put real money on the line. Hone your skills. Get to a point where you could say confidently, this is what I do. And I know exactly the types of trades that I take on, and I know my style. Take your time to go live so that when you do go live, you're never going to have to go back. That way, you go into it fully committed and you go into it fully prepared, knowing what you can do. You still grow after that. You can still develop new ideas and new skills. But get to the point of going live where you can confidently say to yourself, I know exactly what I do, and I know exactly how I'm going to go about trading whilst I am live. So there you go. There's my top tips. These are the things I've discovered from my own journey, things I've discovered from coaching people over the last 6 or 7 years. So hopefully that helps. If you want to see more on how we go about training people and other uses for technical analysis, profile and order flow analysis, click on the link below and come and join us for a workshop. Click subscribe as well, of course, and I'll see you all very soon.